Welcome to my channel. This is where real news meets unfiltered truth. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out on the inside scoop. I'm Donald Trump, and today I'm about to take you on a journey into one of the most unbelievable yet true experiences of my life. I've always prided myself on my ability to lead, to win, and to stay on top no matter what challenges come my way. But what I'm about to share with you isn't a tale of easy victories. It's a story of how one man, Arnold Schwarzenegger, managed to shake even a man like me to my core. I've spent decades building an empire, dominating boardrooms, and even leading our great nation, all while maintaining a persona of unwavering strength and confidence. Whether it was closing multi-billion-dollar deals in New York or making bold political decisions in Washington, I never imagined that I could be publicly humbled. Yet, that morning in Los Angeles, as the sun barely peeked over the skyline and the city stirred awake, I encountered a moment that changed everything. I arrived at a high-profile business summit expecting to network with America's best minds and further cement my legacy. Instead, I found myself face-to-face with a living legend, Arnold Schwarzenegger. From the moment our eyes locked in the crowded corridor of the convention center, I sensed that this wasn't going to be business as usual. Arnold exuded an unmistakable aura, a blend of Hollywood grit, athletic triumph, and a no-nonsense attitude that demanded respect. I had always admired his achievements. He was a powerhouse in film, sports, and even politics. But in that unexpected encounter, his presence felt like a direct challenge to my own carefully constructed image. I still remember the firm handshake he extended, a gesture that seemed to say, "Today, you're not the one in charge." His calm yet authoritative tone, delivered without any pretense, left me reeling. "Donald, I'm here to show you that even the greatest have their moments of weakness." That simple statement struck me to the core. In that instant, surrounded by influential figures and a room filled with anticipation, I felt the cold shock of vulnerability. I had always believed that my record of victories was infallible. My decisions, my leadership, and my very identity were unassailable. Yet here I was, confronted by a man whose very presence questioned everything I had built. In the moments that followed, the air around us grew charged with tension. I tried to assert my authority, recounting my achievements and the countless deals that had defined my success. But Arnold countered every argument with an undeniable logic, a barrage of facts that left no room for denial. It was as if every word he spoke was a precise jab aimed right at my heart. I can't stress enough how surreal that encounter felt. The energy in the room shifted from admiration for my reputation to a collective focus on this unprecedented showdown. I realized that what was unfolding was more than just a personal dispute. It was a public reckoning that would soon be etched into the annals of internet history. For every viewer at that summit, every investor watching the live feed, this moment was a powerful reminder that no one, not even me, was immune to the harsh truths of reality. Today, as I share this story with you, I'm not trying to tarnish my image or dwell on defeat. Instead, I want you to understand that leadership isn't about never falling. It's about having the guts to face your shortcomings head-on, to learn from them, and ultimately to come back stronger than ever. So subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to hear every gritty detail of that fateful day. This isn't just a tale of rivalry and humiliation. It's a testament to what true strength looks like in the face of adversity. Here on my channel, you'll always get the unvarnished truth, and today, that truth is as raw and transformative as it gets. Let this be a reminder that every great leader has moments of vulnerability, and sometimes, those moments are what truly define us. My entire life has been defined by a relentless pursuit of excellence. I've always believed that success is reserved for those who dare to dream big, work tirelessly, and never back down from a challenge. Growing up and building my empire in the concrete jungles of New York, I learned early on that greatness isn't handed out, it's earned. Every deal closed, every boardroom battle fought, and every public appearance reinforced the belief that I was destined to be one of America's all-time greats. I approached each day with the certainty that nothing could derail my momentum, no matter how high the stakes. As I built my legacy, I surrounded myself with the best minds and the most loyal partners. I invested in ventures that transformed industries and spearheaded projects that reshaped skylines. Whether it was luxury developments or political campaigns, Every move was calculated with precision and confidence. But with success came an ever-growing expectation, a pressure to not only maintain my standards, but to surpass them continuously. I set the bar high, and failure was never an option. My track record was my armor, and I wore it proudly, knowing that my reputation was built on countless victories that left no room for error. It was during one of those high-pressure moments that whispers of a potential encounter with Arnold Schwarzenegger began to circulate in elite circles. Arnold, a man who had conquered Hollywood and athletic competition alike, was known not only for his formidable physical presence but also for his candid, no-holds-barred approach to life. To me, this wasn't a threat. It was simply another challenge, one that I assumed would only further validate my own dominance. I had faced critics, skeptics, and rivals throughout my career, and each time I emerged stronger. I believed that this encounter, too, would be yet another opportunity to demonstrate my superior acumen and unyielding willpower. In the days leading up to that fateful summit in Los Angeles, my schedule was a whirlwind of high-stakes meetings, press conferences, and strategic planning sessions. I meticulously prepared for every possible scenario, confident that my expertise and instinct would carry the day. Every conversation, every deal was a reaffirmation of my unstoppable momentum. Yet, as the event drew closer, an undercurrent of anticipation began to build. I found myself both excited and slightly unsettled, aware deep down that any encounter with a figure as legendary as Arnold carried a risk that perhaps my carefully maintained image of invincibility could be compromised. I spent countless hours reflecting on my career, scrutinizing past decisions and assessing my approach to leadership. My life had been a series of calculated risks, each one paying off in ways that solidified my place among the elite. But now, as I contemplated the possibility of facing Arnold head-on, I couldn't help but wonder if there was something more at stake than just my reputation. Could it be that in my relentless pursuit of success, I had become blind to my own vulnerabilities? Was it possible that even I, a man known for his unwavering resolve, had areas that needed improvement? Those were the questions that haunted me in the quiet hours before the event. I realized that the pressure to be perfect was both my greatest strength and my most glaring weakness. Every triumph had built a fortress around my identity, yet that very fortress might have left me isolated from constructive criticism. In preparing for the summit, I felt an unusual mix of excitement and trepidation. I was confident in my abilities, but also aware that true leadership required openness to change, a concept that I had never fully embraced until now. By the time the day arrived, my mind was a battlefield of anticipation and reflection. I knew that no matter how the encounter unfolded, it would leave an indelible mark on my career. Whether I emerged unscathed or not, the experience promised to be a turning point, a moment when I would be forced to confront the reality that even the best can be challenged. In that charged atmosphere, I resolved to hold on to my conviction while remaining open to the possibility that this encounter might reveal truths about myself that I had long ignored. I remember that day in Los Angeles with an intensity that defies description, a day that began like any other but soon spiraled into a moment of undeniable transformation. I had arrived at a high-profile business conference, expecting to engage in the usual banter of deal-making and strategic networking. My mind was set on sealing yet another win for my legacy, confident that nothing could shake my position. But fate had other plans. Amid the hustle of polished executives and the hum of anticipatory chatter, I locked eyes with none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger, a man whose reputation for toughness and candor was legendary. The moment our paths crossed, it was as if time itself slowed down. I extended my hand in my trademark confident manner, a gesture that had sealed countless deals over the years. Arnold met my handshake with a firmness that resonated deeper than a simple greeting. There was something in his eyes, a spark of challenge that told me he wasn't there to exchange pleasantries. Instead, his gaze carried a message. Today, I was about to have my authority questioned. In a voice that was calm yet unmistakably firm, he said, "Donald, I'm here to show you that even the greatest can have moments of weakness." Those words, spoken without ceremony, struck me like a bolt of lightning. For a few long minutes, the room seemed to transform from a venue of celebration into a stage for confrontation. I tried to assert myself, reciting my storied achievements and the countless deals that had cemented my status as a titan of industry and politics. Yet Arnold countered every assertion with a series of pointed facts and incisive observations that left little room for rebuttal. As he listed examples of my past missteps, moments I had long buried under the weight of my successes, I felt an overwhelming mix of anger and disbelief. Here was a man challenging my very identity, and in doing so, He was dismantling the carefully built image I had projected for so long. The audience, a mix of industry leaders, reporters, and influential thinkers, watched in rapt silence. Every eye in the room was fixed on us, and I realized that this confrontation wasn't just a personal dispute. It was a public spectacle that would soon echo across every major media outlet and saturate the internet. I attempted to regain control, raising my voice and interjecting with my own counterpoints. But every word I uttered was effortlessly neutralized by Arnold's cool logic and relentless barrage of critiques. His calm, unwavering delivery left no doubt. I was no longer in the driver's seat. In that pivotal moment, I experienced a profound sense of vulnerability. The persona that had carried me through decades of success suddenly seemed fragile under the weight of harsh truths. I felt my heart pounding as I grappled with the realization that, for the first time in my life, my record of accomplishments might not shield me from criticism. Surrounded by influential figures and an expectant audience, I was forced to confront the possibility that I, Donald Trump, was not infallible. That day, the hard lesson was delivered in real time. No amount of past glories could insulate me from the scrutiny of truth. As the encounter drew to a close, I left the stage feeling both defeated and strangely enlightened. I stood outside the conference hall for several long minutes, grappling with the stark reality that my public image had been irreparably altered. The experience was seared into my memory, a moment when my greatest strengths were exposed as vulnerabilities. It was clear that what had transpired was not just an isolated incident. It was a watershed moment that would shape the narrative of my career for years to come. Even as the echoes of that confrontation continued to reverberate on social media and in the press, I knew that the challenge I had faced was far more than a personal attack. It was a call to re-examine everything I believed about leadership, success, and the price of pride. In the days and weeks following that historic encounter, I found myself immersed in an emotional maelstrom that forced me to re-examine every aspect of who I was as a leader. The sting of Arnold's words and the public nature of our confrontation left a mark on my soul that I couldn't easily shake. Each night, as the city's lights flickered and the silence of Los Angeles settled in, I wrestled with memories of that day, each recollection a reminder that even the most powerful can be humbled. It wasn't just the criticism, it was the realization that my unyielding self-assurance might have blinded me to my own flaws for far too long. Initially, I tried to bury the incident beneath layers of busy schedules and high-stakes business meetings. I immersed myself in projects and negotiations, hoping that relentless action would erase the discomfort of that public reckoning. But during the quiet hours before dawn, when the world was still and thoughts had a way of creeping in, I found myself replaying every word, every gesture. I questioned my decisions, wondering if my aggressive style had, in fact, alienated those around me. For the first time, I contemplated that my unwavering belief in my own infallibility might have been a double-edged sword, fueling my success while simultaneously isolating me from the wisdom of others. I spent countless nights in solitude, poring over the details of that encounter, trying to dissect every moment as if it were a complex business deal. I asked myself whether my approach to leadership had grown too rigid, too focused on projecting strength at the expense of learning from criticism. The harsh truths laid bare by Arnold were difficult to accept, yet they also opened a door to self-improvement I had long resisted. Slowly, I began to see that this painful experience was an opportunity, a chance to reassess my priorities and to build a leadership style that was not only powerful but also adaptable and self-aware. The introspection led me to some hard truths. I realized that true leadership isn't about never showing vulnerability. It's about having the courage to acknowledge one's mistakes and to grow from them. I started listening more to trusted advisors, to colleagues, and even to critics whose words I had once dismissed out of hand. In doing so, I discovered that the art of compromise and the willingness to adapt were not signs of weakness but markers of resilience. My very identity as a leader, which had been built on a foundation of relentless self-reliance, was evolving into something deeper and more nuanced. This period of personal reckoning transformed not only my inner world but also my approach to business and governance. I began to re-examine the strategies I had relied on for so long, seeking new methods that balanced bold vision with thoughtful reflection. Meetings became more collaborative, decisions more measured. I reached out to experts in areas I had previously overlooked, acknowledging that no one person can have all the answers. While the memory of that fateful day still stung, it also sparked a journey toward a more inclusive, reflective style of leadership, one that embraced the reality that every great man has room to improve. In retrospect, the days following the encounter with Arnold Schwarzenegger were both the most challenging and the most transformative of my career. They forced me to step back from the relentless pursuit of success and to ask some uncomfortable questions about my own methods and motivations. I emerged from that period not diminished, but rather refined, a man who had learned that the mark of true greatness lies in the ability to adapt, to accept criticism, and to continuously evolve. I now see that the public humiliation I experienced was not an end, but rather the beginning of a new chapter, one in which I committed to being a leader who not only wins but also listens and learns. Weeks have passed since that unforgettable confrontation, and I, Donald Trump, continue to digest the impact of that day. What once seemed like an insurmountable blow to my pride has gradually revealed itself to be an invaluable lesson, a lesson in humility, growth, and the true meaning of leadership. In the wake of Arnold Schwarzenegger's stark critique, I found myself rethinking every facet of my approach to business, politics, and life itself. I realized that while victories are celebrated, it is often the moments of defeat that provide the richest soil for personal growth. The encounter forced me to confront a simple yet profound truth. Real strength isn't about never faltering. It's about acknowledging your vulnerabilities and learning from them. I came to understand that every decision, every bold move that had once seemed flawless in my eyes, could benefit from honest self-reflection and constructive criticism. I began to actively seek feedback from trusted advisors and to engage in candid discussions with those who challenged my views. This wasn't about admitting defeat, it was about evolving as a leader. I embraced the notion that even a titan like me could improve, and that the willingness to change was not a sign of weakness but a hallmark of true greatness. In the weeks following the public spectacle, I took deliberate steps to reshape my leadership style. I participated in roundtable discussions, invited experts to review my strategies, and even sat down with critics to understand their perspectives. Each conversation chipped away at the arrogance that had once seemed indispensable to my success. I realized that my past victories had built an image of invincibility that, while impressive, had also rendered me impervious to the lessons that failure could teach. As I began to integrate these insights into my daily decision-making, I noticed a subtle but significant shift in the way I conducted business and engaged with the public. The change wasn't dramatic overnight, but it was persistent and transformative, a gradual evolution toward a more balanced, thoughtful approach to leadership. This transformation had far-reaching implications. No longer was my identity solely defined by past triumphs and a relentless drive to win at all costs. I started to value the process of self-improvement, recognizing that every setback was an opportunity to recalibrate and emerge stronger. I took to various platforms, interviews, social media, even my own speeches to share this newfound perspective. I openly acknowledged the sting of public criticism and the lessons it had taught me, inviting others to join me on a journey of self-discovery and growth. The internet, once abuzz with images of my supposed downfall, gradually transformed into a forum for discussions about resilience, adaptability, and the evolving nature of leadership in a rapidly changing world. Today, as I look back on that day with a mixture of regret and gratitude, I see it as a turning point, a moment when I had to choose between clinging to an outdated image and embracing the possibility of becoming a better, more inclusive leader. My story is not one of defeat, but of renewal. It stands as a testament to the idea that even the most established figures can be forced to re-examine their beliefs and, in doing so, discover a deeper, more resilient strength. I hope that my experience serves as a reminder to every aspiring leader that true greatness is measured not by the number of victories on your shelf, but by your ability to rise, learn, and keep moving forward after each fall. As I continue to forge ahead in my career, I do so with the awareness that change is not only inevitable, it's essential. Every lesson learned from that day fuels my commitment to be a better version of myself and to lead with both conviction and humility. Let this be an enduring message to all who follow my journey. No matter how high you soar, it's the willingness to adapt and grow that truly sets you apart. Embrace your shortcomings, learn from them, and remember that every setback is just another step on the path to lasting success.